Welcome to my channel. Please, if you are new here, just take a few seconds to hit the subscribe button to get amazing content. Former President Donald Trump introduced his third run for the White House in as many election cycles on Tuesday nighttime at his Mar-a-Lago villa in Palm Beach, Florida. The former president has spoken great and severe lies all through both his existence as a fixture in the New York City tabloids, a presidential contender, and then as an occupier of the White House. He persisted that tradition on Tuesday nighttime, even as he had a more pallid and restrained delivery than his normal mode of communications at raucous rallies. Here are 4 main lies that he peddled for the duration of his presidential announcement. Firstly, saying that he completed the wall. Throughout his 2016 campaign, Mr. Trump stated that he would erect a wall on the US-Mexico border and pressure Mexico to pay for it. At a couple of rallies all through the 2022 midterm elections, he stated that his administration completed the wall. "We completed the wall, and then we stated let's do more," he said. "And we did a lot more. And as we were doing it, we had an election that came up. And when they got herein, they had 3 more weeks to entire the additions to the wall, which would have been terrific, and they stated no, we're now not going to do that." But Mr. Trump's administration solely performed about 458 miles of the wall on the US-Mexico border, in accordance to US News and World Report. By comparison, the US-Mexico border is more than 1,900 miles. Secondly, blaming the Green New Deal that has now not passed. Few policies enrage conservatives as much as the Green New Deal, the proposed local weather legislation that Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Ed Markey co-authored last Congress. The socialist disaster acknowledged as the Green New Deal, which is destroying our country and the many crippling rules that it has spawned, will be immediately terminated so that our nation can once more breathe and develop and thrive like it should, he said. But President Joe Biden did now not assist the Green New Deal in the course of the 2020 campaign, though his running mate Kamala Harris did. In addition, Congress did no longer pass the Green New Deal, however, rather the much-paid-down Inflation Reduction Act, which consists of lease sales for drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Thirdly, the biggest tax cuts in history. The former president failed to pass lots major regulation in the course of his time in the White House, and by no means built a relationship with Congress. But one of his few signature accomplishments used to be the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Despite his populist rhetoric, plenty of the tax cuts benefited the wealthiest Americans. Businesses have been pouring back due to the fact of our historic tax and law cuts, the biggest in each categories in history, better even than what Ronald Reagan was once in a position to produce, and he produced a lot, he said. But the New York Times debunked the claim. Former President Ronald Reagan's tax reduce in 1981 stays the biggest tax cut in records as a proportion of the U.S. economy and discount by federal revenue. Again, the lies about the election. It wouldn't be a Trump event besides the former president nursing his grudges about the 2020 presidential election. Specifically, he repeated his lies about how the election was once stolen from him. They spent all of the cash from machines and all of this stuff, and they ended up 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Through that time everybody forgot there was even an election, he said. It would not appear in third world countries. They do better than we do. It's horrible what's occurring with our election process. And I'll get that job done. Except, there is absolutely no proof that the election used to be stolen from the former president. In addition, he stated how France's election system was once far greater efficient at some point of its presidential election. Though, as PolitiFact flagged earlier this year, a massive cause for this is France's countrywide authorities runs presidential elections, whilst in the United States, individual states do. Incidentally, Republicans decry Democratic efforts to pass balloting rights as a federal takeover of voting. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Please subscribe to my